I won awards for all my subjects. The medals are for the Olympiad that I went to and the sports that I participated in. These are mainly for distinctions in physics, math, life sciences, geography, English, and Afrikaans. But then later on, grade 11, I took isiZulu, and then I also got an award for that. My name is Hlengiwe Londiwe Masikane. I'm 19 years of age. I do get awards for most of what I do because I give it my best shot.
We have a commitment to developing Africa and creating sustainable development and doing that. We believe that through providing housing, education, as well as renewable energy, we're able to sustain that growth that's much needed on the continent. Some of the key challenges we are faced with in the education space are low pass rates, as well as lack of investment in facilities for students, as well as educators. So one of the gaps we've identified is a shortage of affordable independent schools. That's where we are investing in terms of filling a gap where government may not be able to intervene. We are creating that capacity within the education space.
When I was a child, I stayed a bit in KZN, and then around when I was about to go to creche, maybe 3 years, 4 years, I moved to Vlakfontein. It's a small place, an informal settlement in Indonesia South. In Vlakfontein, I lived with my grandparents. My mom would regularly visit me when she's off at work. I think it's because they were trying to buy us a home, because initially they lived in a rented house, a very small one, so it wouldn't be enough for the three of us. When they moved in Protea Glen, they called me to come and stay with them. I went to grade R in a primary school called Nkululeko Sizwe. I started my grade R there up to grade 4. I wouldn't say it's a top school. The classes were clustered. They were very full, they were packed. When my father retired from bank serve, he became a transport driver for BASA. So my father always had compliments about BASA, that the children there, they improve. He saw that the education system is just much better for me because he wanted me to improve. I think that's one of the reasons why my parents moved me early from that school before I reached grade 7. My mom has been my greatest strength, and the school has been my greatest support.
BASA is one of our investments. They started with the school in the Joburg CBD. We subsequently reached out as a fund and found that there were synergies in terms of our objectives and what they were doing.
So in 2011, we were approached by Old Mutual because they are interested in developing the country. They saw us as one of the partners that they could do business with in terms of providing education. Part of the help is providing facilities which we're lacking. So we're able to accommodate learners in something more solid than a prefab. We've seen great results. Our scoring is very good in maths and English because those are the subjects that we spend more time on. Every year we set different targets, and since we started it about 5 years ago, we're seeing that we're making huge strides towards whatever we implemented at that time. When you speak about the teachers, it touches a spot in me because of their level of dedication. They go above and beyond their call of duty. And it goes to show that a teacher is not a teacher by profession, but it's by calling. They don't just come here. It's like it was planned somewhere for them to come here and become part of this big family, a family of 360 of them.
Mr. Mushala actually came in my life where I was already, performing. He was always there. He actually sharpened me and made me much better than I was before. I remember for the first time in a very long time, actually ever in my life, I got 100% for a year mark in mathematics. And then I was like, that's what I've been looking for all this time.
If a child finds a teacher like that, they realize, oh, this person really loves me. They're interested in me, not just in giving them my homework and classwork. They appreciate me as a person, and they can actually help me with some of the things. So I think that is really, really special. And you never forget such people even after you've left school.
When my father passed away, I felt like my mom she was torn inside. And I realized that when she sees me getting these trophies and getting these awards and excelling in my schoolwork, that makes her happy. So if I also excel, I'm not making her a favor. I'm also driving towards my brighter and better future. One of the challenges that we faced at home was financial stability. So what happened was that I spoke to my teacher, Ms. Ndlovu, and them knowing my academic records, they said that they're gonna try to find me a sponsor. They promised to pay for my fees for grade 10, and 11 and 12. All that I was left with was just to learn. I was quite excited, so I wouldn't have to leave BASA for starters. I fell in love with the environment here. I loved everything about it. I first met Gogo when I was in 5th grade. Back then, she would actually ensure that I'm clean, that my uniform is fine, that I'm in the proper school uniform, and for my mom, if any indiscipline that I do in the school to keep me in check. So 8th grade, I became a head girl. Then she offered me to get free food every day, all the way up to grade 12. Sometimes she'd even offer to buy me some clothing for winter, because I don't wear trousers. So she'd buy me stockings, the warm socks. She was very, very supportive and very caring too.
The difference between BASA and many public schools that are around is that we focus mainly on the child and we focus on results. We are one school that is 100% black owned. The reason why they choose to come to BASA is because they've seen what we produce.
We shouldn't be limited to, I stay in this area, hence this is the only option I have. They should get quality education that they deserve.
The Schools Fund is invested in multiple educational investments, specifically being primary and secondary education with a view to grow into tertiary education as well. We've got multiple investments, BASA being one of them.
Decided being a social impact that Old Mutual is bringing into BASA. It's a partnership that we came up with. We've basically become family. They've really groomed us and grown us into having a more structured way of working, use of different business models that could serve this community.
What I've learned from my time in BASA is that you as a person can do much more. You can actually achieve a lot. These trophies and these awards are not really me. They're a picture of what I can be.
Responsible investing is extremely important to us. We take our role in helping to secure a better future for all South Africans seriously. It's all about building a future that matters. We also focus on infrastructure with a keen interest in renewable energy. We believe this is where you can have positive impact in terms of creating growth on the continent as well as sustainable development.
Our Racer solar facility, it's located within a small community called Dibeng within the Gamagara local municipality. A very significant part of the Renewable Energy Independent Power Producer Program is that government has seen the need to look at how private sector can implement sustainable projects within these communities.
The AIM investment in the company that is our connection to Old Mutual Alternative Investments. They have a meaningful stake in the company from a shareholding perspective, and AIM directors sit on all of our audit and risk committees, social and ethics committees, etc. We have a percentage of our revenue which we invest in social economic development projects as well as enterprise development projects. This is several million rand a year spent across a number of different sectors.
I'm the local community operations officer for Racer, and I basically look after projects in 6 communities. Predominantly, we focus in education. Generally in communities, predominantly the Black communities, early childhood development was just a parent taking a child to a creche, and the practitioners, they were just babysitting them. No stimulation of the brain, of the emotions, of their physical being.
Nna ka ke boipelo ene se Majeng ke na le 38 ke dula mo Mapoteng around Kathu mo ke dulang teng mo Mapoteng like re dula le batho ba ba intsi thata cause ba tlile mo go tla go batla tiro mo mining ya ra bona mo re dulang teng ke bona re dula re kgotlagane ka gore ya population ya batho e nna go godimo and then batho ba tswa ko magaeng ba tla mo le bana ba ba intsi mo in ya no batla ya mo tikologong ya rona re shota le ka dikolo ke statile go na le kgatlego mo crashing ha my little doctor a simula go tsena mo a ke tla khona le nna go ta go tlhola le bana o bona for big or kgwedi in so ke ba dumalana mo center gore nya mo sia motlana wa tla in then after a year ke ha ba mpira ka go tlhokomela ke tlhokomela bana ba after care classes. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Before Reza e tla ta go re thusa re na le dikgwetlho tse dintsinyana wa bona like re sena dio tsa bantse ba tla tshamekang ka tsone dintsi more enough gore ba ka tshameka ka tsone so gantsi bana ba borega thata eng yo a tshwanetse re ba tshameke ba tlhole letsatsi lotlhe mo centereng.
We have the ECD Early Childhood Development flagship project. The first phase focuses on upskilling the practitioners at ECD centers. We took these 58 practitioners from 12 schools and we took them for NQF level 4 training and NQF level 5 training where they were taught on how to actually become practitioners, and we have really observed improvements. On the 5th of October, we had the graduation ceremony where all of them graduated at 80% average pass mark. We were very excited about that.
Just to be at that graduation ceremony and see the pride of all of those ladies that were graduating was really heartwarming. It's an opportunity that they would have otherwise never had. Most of the ladies that have gone through this qualification process are people that were already involved in trying to care for children as best as they knew how. The great thing is that at the start of the program, you're already working with people who care passionately about helping these young children. Their formal qualification in the field brings a sense of achievement. When somebody is investing time and energy in what is actually a pretty difficult job, to grasp the opportunity and go on to qualify creates a massive sense of self-worth.
The developmental area, physical development, language development, social and emotionally, intellectual development. So how le motlaseng o ruta ngwana ngwana tshwanetse gore a dirishe tsotlhe so 6 development areas tsa gagwe. I'm so proud ka ntho ke dira mo sekolong.
Our enterprise development program really just focuses on giving SMMEs the opportunity to be more professionalized, more independent. One of the first beneficiaries of the RAISA Enterprise Development Program is Happy Olaine, the owner of My Idea Gardening Services. He came to us to say, look, there's an opportunity for me to provide services to the big mine, Anglo-American Kumba Iron Ore Mine. He needed some resources for him to bridge that gap that was there.
Their approach was, we do have a funding that you are not supposed to pay it back. It's a great opportunity that everyone can grab and go on with. But it was not just an easy thing to go to them. You have to be a registered SMME. And what they did, they give you trainings that gave us a training like on management, finance, and all you name it for business to run. Raisa saw that I have a potential, and then they funded me with an amount of 955,000, but it was not in cash. I have to go out and look for quotations of what I'm looking, like equipment, buckets, machinery. My company is now grown. I now have 14 vehicles with 72 guys. I'm very proud that I have helped so many families.
Because we're a renewable energy company, we've done a lot of renewable energy social infrastructure. 30 Baying Solar Street Lights is a project that was implemented in 2016. RAISA received a request from the mayor. They were facing a lot of issues with crime.
Ons council is het gaan sit en gaan kyk hoe kan ons die probleem oplos. En dan toe ons nou vir RAISA, ons het van RAISA gaan nader om te hoor vir die straatligte.
We've seen a lot of improvement. We've received a lot of feedback from the communities, and the police tell us the crime rate has gone down because there's more light. People feel safer to walk in the street a little bit later from work, after school, and to go to the shops.
Net na 7 begin slaan die ligte aan en dan is die hele gemeenskap, kan jy sien, want die ligte is daar met RAISA nou naby ons. Like die toekoms baie goed.
We're trying to move from the notion of just giving people, just giving them, but we empowering them to do for themselves, and that is the most sustainable way of implementing projects.
Hello guys, how are you? Welcome to my house. This is my Samsung TV that I watch. I've got B&W speakers where I normally get the sound, and then I've got my leather couch seat where I normally relax after work. I've got my fish tank here with my 2 babies sitting inside there. My lovely wife, Leta. We've been married for 14 years. She's the one who's preparing me, and then I've got my Defy double door fridge here. This is my fridge, guys. I like 100% juice, and we've got some milk, then some few cold drinks. And then this side we buy meat for fries and stuff and cooking. This is my bath, guys, where we take shower. Everything happens here. We take shower here. We've got our mirror. We watch ourselves. And then this is the main bedroom where me and my wife, we do everything. We decided to paint it white so that everything must white. It means everything is bright. So our life, once we enter here, it shows brightness. This is my side where I put my clothes. So everything, if I'm looking for anything, I'm getting it this side. And then this is my wife's side where she put her clothes as well. So yeah, guys, this is my house. This is the main bedroom, guys. Like I said, welcome to my house. This is where we make a living. That's Carino Estate.
One of our objectives is to grow home ownership amongst previously disadvantaged individuals. So giving opportunities for people to buy their first homes. We're looking at developing integrated communities, which look at having housing as well as the amenities that come with housing. And the focus there is on creating communities for people.
I was living in Nganyamazane. It's a township lifestyle where you'll find your shisanyama, your beans. I didn't own a house. I was staying in my parents' house. And then I said, you know what, since I'm planning to get married, I need to start having my own things. I was fortunate to get the job that will give me that advantage to move away from the town. And I was that kind of a person who liked to move away where I grew up, because where you grew up, sometimes you don't grow. You keep on seeing the same people doing the same things. In 2008, I lost my mother. So on the funeral day, one of my friends, he brought the coupon. Then he showed me the coupon to say, there's a development that is coming at Carino. So if you are interested, you can go to these people and then they will help you.
People were very much interested because it's mostly for the middle class people, people earning from 3.5 and 9,000 rand. They couldn't afford to buy a house in town. They loved the idea that it's a secure area.
When this opportunity comes in, I said, you know what, let me grab this with my both hands. If my feet allows me, let me grab them with my feet as well, which I did.
We have a commitment to creating quality, affordable housing, and this is what we've experienced in our relationship with Similin. Similin has been able to look at different typologies so as to be able to give our buyers options.
We took a holistic view of looking at the entire development and looking at how we could enhance the quality of life of the owners in the end by designing a space that encourages a sense of community, a sense of Ubuntu, if you want to use that word.
It was really interesting because I never owned a house before. I never had neighbors before. The neighbors where I was staying, it was my parents' neighbors. It was not my neighbors. So starting to live with different people from different places, and then we grew up in different ways. It was a great challenge in life, but at the same time, it makes you grow as a human. Home ownership has changed my life, and in terms of planning, being responsible, and the way you do things in life, you start to understand the importance of closing the tap, for an example.
When you make a product that is a green building certified product, that seems to appeal to them, especially if not for the ethical sense of it, but for the cost saving side of it. All of our units are fitted with solar geysers and the rest of it.
I've got this money, Jan van der Beek's money. I've got 2 rand and some coins for the future generation to see what money did we use in the past, and then I've got 50 rand here. That I also kept it so that they can see what money did we use. How was the 50 rand look like?
In terms of the way he has finished his bond, he listened to our advice, because we told him that if you pay a little more on your bond, then that will reduce the years and it will also reduce your installment. He managed to pay off his bond within 6 years, 9 months. If you do that, you can be able to invest in other properties as well.
It's a building. It's something else for someone to turn it into a home. And we feel like low-cost housing needs to look at offering a product that addresses the person as a human being and not as a statistic that needs to be struck off the roll. We believe we are changing the mindset of what a low-cost housing product should look like.
What I do every day, I actually sell a dream. It makes me feel awesome. I love it.
Mine. Yours, yeah.
To see a person living in this estate and see that they are very happy, I think it has given a lot of people the pride because of the way they're living now. It's totally different from the way they were living in township.
As a homeowner, it makes me extremely happy to see other people being able to access housing opportunities. These are people who otherwise may not have that opportunity, and we're making it happen. I think to be able to raise your kids in a safe space, in a place where they can thrive and go to school and play with other children is just a privilege, and I'm glad that we are part of that journey. Personally, I'm very optimistic about where we are as a country and where we're going. There's a lot of opportunity that's presenting itself to young South Africans, and we're seeing some of this opportunity coming from the private sector. We're seeing some of the opportunity coming from government. And through collaboration, that's where we're going to see the change we want, and it allows us to leave something for our children.